Howdy all, Wyrm here. So patch 5.5's official website actually got a few subtle updates today, so I just wanted to really quickly break these down for you because they include a few important points that I just wanted to address. So let's get started. First off, the quote for the patch: "As towers rise and darkness falls, Eorzea's players take the stage, blades poised to meet the final days." I actually love that quote, but it tells us that these towers are going to be a central point and darkness falls, whatever that may be. Now, the primary update that was actually released is regarding the main scenario quest, and they've dubbed it Death Unto Dawn Part 1. Now that's interesting, so it means that the patch is actually not going to contain the entire storyline, or this is just what they're releasing for now. So this is probably just part 1 of the storyline that they're choosing to tell us about at this point. But let's go over the description first of all. So, the Scions have finally succeeded in discovering a cure for tempering, which should prove instrumental in allowing the Eorzean Alliance and the land's beast tribes to settle their differences. Prospects of peace may soon fall to ruin, however, as Fandaniel and the Telefori scheme to recreate the final days, and ominous towers rise in all corners of the realm. With the servants of chaos amassing at every turn, will the Scions uncover their plot before it's too late? Now that's a very interesting way of putting this, so there's a few details in here that I actually just want to go through. The main one is regarding Fandaniel and the Telefori. Now, if you're wondering what the Telefori is, the Telefori are the group or the crew that is actually behind Fandaniel in his method of bringing about a new Final Days. It's likely they're lower ranked Ascians because we have seen a lot of them. Now, if you're wondering what Telefori actually means, the FF14 community has already done the research into it. They've broken it into two words, telos and foros. These two Greek words actually translate into bringers of the end. So Telefori literally has a Greek translation of bringers of the end, which is pretty apt. Now, the main thing I wanted to go over was this image. As you can see, it takes place in Garabania, and you have the Eorzean Alliance on one side, and then you have the Scions and the Seventh Dawn on the other side. Now, there's a few important points that I'd like to point out regarding this. First things first, for the Eorzean Alliance side, you'll notice that Hien is actually nowhere to be seen, nor is there actually a seat for him. And then on the Scion side, Y'shtola is actually missing from the party as well. So this is pretty interesting. Why are Hien and Y'shtola missing? Now, it's likely this was an emergency meeting, so it's likely Hien actually couldn't attend. But considering his lands are actually closer to the Garlean Empire than ours, it's likely he has to stay home in order to deal with that. As for why Y'shtola is missing, honestly, we just can't say. Now we move on to a very interesting piece. So we get more information regarding the new dungeon, which is called Pagathan. Now I haven't gotten a proper translation for this, I apologise if I keep butchering the name. But the quote says, "Though the herding of livestock keeps the nomadic Amalja constantly on the move across the sweeping plains of Pagathan, the permanent settlement of Zulmak offers respite for the weary and a venue for the gathering of both political and social. Yet without intervention, it may not long be so." So that's a very interesting way of putting it. So this is kind of like the Amalja Beast Tribe's kind of tribal capital city, likely where all the actual Amalja tribes, all the separate ones, actually come to meet to resolve disputes. But the fact that they say it's a venue for the gathering of both political and social means it's likely that our party is actually venturing there in order to try and broker a peace with the Amalja beast tribes. We don't really know much about these beast tribes because they've kind of been kept at a distance from us. We don't know whether they're tempered or not, although I'd assume that tempering is likely, considering the beast tribes here likely still worship Ifrit as much as the ones we've already encountered. Now we get a couple of interesting images first of all. I just wanted to go over these real quick because they've gotten some interesting reactions from players. These are actually the new gear sets that are actually going to drop from the dungeon. Now as you can see, they actually look quite different and they actually take direct inspiration from the Amalja beast tribes themselves. And that's really why I like them. Like if you take a look at these ones here as well, you'll notice that they actually take direct inspiration from a lot of the Amalja features, such as the horns and the actual skins that are actually going over the actual armor itself. But the armors actually look really interesting to me. I like the headdresses, I like the actual chest pieces, and particularly these tattered robes make them look really unique, especially with the belts and the garters and stuff. So I'm for one, I'm really excited about these armors and I'll be interested in trying them on. The other update was regarding the new Chronicles of a New Era conclusion, so the Sorrow of World. Now the quote says, "With adamantine armor and a beating blood red core. The diamond weapon is the culmination of countless sacrifices and untold suffering. When the ultimate triumph of the 7th Legion's monstrous weapon project descends upon worlds, who will be saved and who shall fall? Now, as you can see, we get a pretty menacing image of the diamond weapon itself, and it does complete justice to the diamond weapon we've already seen. So I for one cannot wait to actually fight this, and I'm assuming these are going to cause massive damage. The other image we actually get is actually of Gaius, and he doesn't look very happy, but I'm assuming, considering the background, we're actually in World again. So it's likely this is going to be him actually facing down the diamond weapon, or his adoptive son, in order to actually finish this battle once and for all. And that's it, everyone. This was only going to be a very quick update regarding some of the main things that this patch actually wants us to address. Now, it's addressed some very important points because it's telling us exactly where we're going. But importantly, because it says part 1, I'll be interested to hear if we actually get part 2 in patch 5.5, or if it's going to be, for example, in patch 5.55 that we actually get Death Unto Dawn part 2. But the live letter's coming in a few days, so we'll definitely hear about exactly what this patch is going to mean at that point. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a pretty weird video, but I actually have another video actually coming out today, so there's going to be 2 videos today. Thanks all, and as always, have a good one.